Is there proof of the resurrection of Jesus?
Okay, let me make this quick. If the resurrection really happened, then it proves that yes, there is life beyond the grave, life beyond death. And also, it also proves that Jesus is who he claimed to be, the Son of God. Christians eagerly claim the tomb is empty, but that don't prove nothing. First of all, how do you know it was Jesus' tomb? What if it was the wrong tomb? Hey, it's empty. Okay, the religious leaders who put Jesus on the cross, they would make sure that Jesus was dead. No way they would get the wrong tomb. And when the rumor went out that Jesus is alive, well, then go to the right tomb and get the body out. Rumor destroyed. But at the correct tomb, the body wasn't there. Well, obviously, you might say, the body was stolen. But who would steal the body? The Romans? No, they were the ones protecting the tomb, and their life was at stake in protecting it. Also, a stolen Jesus would cause a riot, and the Romans want to keep the peace. Jesus' enemies? No, they're the ones who wanted Jesus dead and stay dead. Even if they wanted to desecrate the body, once rumors spread that Jesus was alive, dude, bring the body back. A dead Jesus is better than a missing Jesus. That brings us to the obvious choice, the disciples. They stole the body to start a new religion. Really? There's only one way anyone can steal the body. There's only one entrance, and it's guarded by a Roman guard of 16 men who would take turns doing four-hour watches so they're awake around the clock. And the Roman guard was the strongest unit in the known world. They didn't care about Jesus, of course, but they cared about the Roman seal that was placed over the tomb. And according to Roman law, the penalty for leaving their post was death. Sleeping on the job was death. They were ruthless and disciplined, and the disciples are going to attack these hardened soldiers. These were the same disciples who ran away when Jesus was arrested. The same disciples who were hiding even when they heard that Jesus resurrected. Okay, maybe the body wasn't stolen. It's not likely that a group of people can subdue the Roman guard. But what if Jesus wasn't really dead? One theory is that Jesus just fainted on the cross, or he went into a coma and woke up 3 days later. Okay, that's the worst theory because nobody survives the crucifixion. When they were taking down the body of Jesus, notice they didn't break the legs. Now the Bible doesn't explain why. But now we know, before the body is taken down, to make sure the guy is dead, the Romans would break the legs so that he would be unable to lift the body up to breathe and thus die of suffocation. But the Bible says that when they got to Jesus, there was no need to break the legs. He was already dead. But just to make sure, a Roman guard got a spear and pierced the major organs from the side. Come on, the Romans invented this form of torture because no one survives the crucifixion. So imagine a weak Jesus wakes up from a coma, needing medical attention, pushes the 1-ton stone all by himself, escapes the Roman guards, and then looks strong enough to convince his disciples that he conquered death? Come on now. And it wasn't some hallucination or some pretender look-alike. Jesus was around for 40 days after he resurrected. And there were more than 500 witnesses who saw him. 40 days to examine whether this was truly the risen Jesus. And as the disciples were preaching, they would say, if you don't believe me, ask one of the many witnesses that are still around. And he started this new religion in Jerusalem, where everybody knows what happened. So if they were lying, someone would be quick to point out, hey, that's not how it happened. Recently, they made an amazing discovery at the tomb. They found a piece of iron rod lodged near the entrance. An iron rod was hammered in by the Romans to secure the Roman seal over the tomb. Electron microscope analysis revealed that the metal is not a modern-day alloy, but the basic metals of iron and lead, which were used in the first century. You see, when the angel rolled the stone away, this iron rod was sheared off, and the remaining portion is still there today. Why else would an iron rod be sheared off? Lastly, let's say somehow the disciples stole the body. Somehow the disciples made it all up and the real body wasn't produced by the Romans. So they make up a new religion for money, fame, tax evasion. Actually, each one of the disciples died poor and they were killed for their faith. You would think if they made it all up that at least one of them would crack. At least one of them would say, hell no, I ain't dying for a lie. Christians are getting jailed, killed, and not one of them said, we made it all up. Don't kill me. They decided to die for the cause because they knew it was a truth worth dying for. Jesus did rise from the dead, and logically, there's no other explanation. Now that you know what happened, isn't it time for you to find out why?